Wait, what do you mean I'm still in this? How the am I still in this? We're recording? What? It's fine, we'll edit that bit out. Greetings, sailors, and welcome to The Ring, Round 4. The challenge this time was to get 50 secondary hits, but the twist was to do it in a Japanese ship. There aren't that many Japanese ships that have good secondaries, to be honest. Below tier 9, a lot of them have a fair old number of AP secondaries into the mix, and those are just generally less effective overall. And also, in terms of range, it's only when you get to tier 9 and 10 that you can get a decent range on those secondaries. Although the Fuso can be made not bad for its tier, Nagato's not bad for its tier either. Of the tier 9s, this is it, really. Musashi doesn't have nearly the number of secondaries, so Izumo is the one I went with. And although I have a bit of a soft spot for it, and although I even respect and retrained a 19-point captain to go into the Izumo, I didn't quite go all in, as you'll notice. I went with manual secondaries, I went with AFT, but I didn't go with Demo Expert, and I didn't have IFHE. And if you really want to go all in, you need the 3-4 point captain skills, which doesn't leave you a lot elsewhere. And if you don't have some of those survivability skills on the Izumo, you're really going to notice it. So although I will definitely get the requisite number of hits in this game, in my usual deeply humble fashion, I'm not going to get a lot of damage out of it. I really am not. Most of these secondaries, in fact, are 127mm secondaries, and they just aren't doing a lot at all without the aid of IFHE. And even without Demo Expert, I'm struggling to get some fires here, unfortunately. But for this round, it is quantity, not quality, that matters, fortunately. So this Musashi is providing an entirely unwilling target, but I just need them to be close enough. For both the tier 9 and 10, you can get it to, I think, 10.5, 10.6 kilometers, which is quite respectable range-wise, but even with Demo Expert and IFHE, it's not a spec that's worth doing on a Japanese battleship. It just isn't. So there we go, I had 50 hits on that Musashi alone, although I'd already had a couple of hits earlier on. But as for this batch, I mean, I get a little bit more damage out of it, but yeah, the main battery was just not behaving in this one. Not having the module that gives you the extra 7%, or shaves off the 7% dispersion, is quite noticeable when you're playing the Izumo. So 75k, that was all 50 secondary hits in one game. I decided, you know, I didn't want to show up anybody. I mean, I've said what I've said about the main battery, but obviously I also just, I was feeling like letting other people get more damage and get more score out of this one. I mean, that was clearly my choice. It wasn't anything to do with the ship or anything. No, it was me humbly choosing to let other people do better. You can see there, yeah, quite how little damage my secondaries did. It was about 5 point something K between them. I only got a little bit of fire damage as well, so yeah, secondary spec on a Japanese battleship, not worth it. Definitely not worth it. But for the purposes of this challenge, at least, it was interesting to try something different for a change, even if it was largely ineffective. So that's it for the semi-final round challenge. The next one is the decider. Obviously, I knew all along that I was going to make it this far, and as I've maintained all along, I am definitely going to win. Definitely. I have mentioned previously that for the final round, I shall be picking my own vote. But for this semi-final, we're going to be doing the usual. I'll put up a Patreon poll, which I'm aware is not ideal for everybody, but I will point out that you're under no obligation other than to actually create an account for Patreon in order to vote in it, because it's a completely public post. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it interesting and entertaining and all the rest. And if you did, you can do the usual things down underneath it. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.